Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe, sponsored by Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel. I am Kimberly Hobscheid, your host and the creator of the Facebook community, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel, a community by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, helping entrepreneurs and experts get their business to the next level. Come join the community at www.entrepreneursrocketfuel.com/Facebook and join the conversation. Today, I'm going to interview Juliet. Juliet is an expert on helping entrepreneurs. Juliet, welcome to the Entrepreneur Experts Cafe.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Super glad to have you. So I really enjoy your energy and the way that you show up in the world, but share with us a little bit about your background and how you came into this world of entrepreneurship.
So I'll make it short. I worked in traditional publishing and went on to advertising. In 2007, I wrote my first book. I was going through a horrible divorce. I killed my husband in it. And that was where I learned about the horrible world of self-publishing. And by my second book, I created my own company that served self-published authors in a whole different way.
Oh, I love it. Actually, there's an author who writes the A to Z series of murders, right? Like she's a detective and she writes this A to Z series, like A is for alibi, and then she goes through all of them. And her story is similar to yours in that she got a divorce and she thought of all these ways to kill her husband, and then she decided to write 26 ways that people died. And like, that's awesome. I love it. Sue Grafton?
Sue Grafton, yeah. So my third book, actually, when I released it, was between Sue Grafton and Janet Ivanovich for about a week. And I was amazed because I love both of them. So, yeah.
I love it. Awesome. So what a great story. What a way to turn like grief and anxiety and horribleness into something that pays you money. I love it. That's fantastic.
Right? I always say, you know what? Blondes don't look good in felony orange. So this could have turned out all differently if Helen's wore royal blue.
I love it. That's hysterical. Okay. So tell me about your business. And you have Promote, Profit, Publish. And then you also have some other stuff that you do. Is that, tell us about Promote, Profit, Publish.
So Promote, Profit, Publish is my podcast. I am a firm believer that your book is a tool and can help you make money, but where you really make your money is your products and services. So building the right book and selling it is a low barrier entry product, kind of a gateway to your bigger products. So we have an assessment platform that we use to build audiences and lead generation, lead qualification, and client research. So we actually say our quizzes allow you to determine who in your audience is your best client in 180 seconds.
I love that. So say that again. Who is your best client from an audience in 180 seconds? Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, do you help all entrepreneurs or do you focus on a particular group of entrepreneurs or a niche, if you will?
We focus on authors, coaches, and speakers. We have a lot of people using our assessment, a lot of speakers, paid and those who are unpaid, using it from the stage for data collection and lead qualification. We work with authors and podcasters because their stats are what we call off funnel. So now they have a way to capture and qualify those leads and find out who's really listening and reading. And then, of course, coaches, because they seem to fit into all those categories.
You know, that's fascinating because if you do have a podcast, you could have 120,000 subscribers or whatever, but you really don't have any contact information. You don't have any way to reach them and have a two-way conversation. All you can get is sort of a one-way. I can spew information to you, but I can't get information back and build relationship until you engage in some way with something that I've got. So is this where your tool comes into effect?
Yes, we have a lot of podcasters using it as their ads. So now they have this as, instead of giving away a free book where you just get an email address, now we're collecting first, last names, phone numbers, email addresses, and a lot of data on who's listening and where they need help. So a lot of information about your audience, especially helpful with the radio shows, because a lot of times the radio station controls a lot of that. And
Mm.
you don't really know how many people are listening either.
I'm sure that you're right. And with a radio show, it is live, so it's hard to collect those statistics. And the difference between a radio show and a podcast, a lot of people ask me what the difference is. I know what I think it is, but can you share with us how you see podcasts and radio shows as different?
So radio shows you can usually only access from the station's website. It's not something that is out there and shared. Podcasts are shared in so many places. I know mine's on YouTube and Apple TV and Roku and iHeartRadio. And so just more readily accessible, and they're bingeable. When you find a good podcast, I don't know about you guys, but I'll download like all the episodes and listen. So they're very bingeable.
Yes. So for me, I've heard that radio show is more like you're listening to a show that has a lot of different speakers on it. You may get additional listeners because they were listening to the show before you, or they're tuning in after you. So that's one advantage. But a podcast, they can binge watch all of you. It's more like Netflix, don't you think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Now let's get back to what your thing is, because it sounds very compelling to be able to capture information from an audience that's sort of out there in nebulous land, and the very idea of getting maybe their first name and an email address is so juicy and delicious, but getting all this other information, is this through the quiz piece that you have?
It is. So when we set the quiz up, we set it up based on the success principles of your program. So people are eager to take it because they're there to listen to you, and they want to know why they're not reaching success. So you're really laying out for them a way to self-assess why they're not reaching those pinnacles that they're looking for. So it's really, I call it a smart lead magnet. It's a win-win for both parties.
Oh, I love that. Actually, I'm a person who loves taking online quizzes. I absolutely want to find out like which Game of Thrones entrepreneur am I? I want to know that, right? Or which Friends character am I? I love that kind of stuff. But also, like, where are my blocks? Where am I stuck? Where am I, like, find out your personality style and how it matches with other personality styles out there. Are those the types of quizzes, or is it something, well, it might be proprietary. You don't have to share your secret sauce, but I'm just curious.
Well, no, it's a little bit different. So if you look at most quiz platforms out there, they ask a question, you move on to the next page. With ours, it's statements, and you self-assess on a scale of 1 to 10. But to take that further, it's in categories. So you're breaking your success principles into categories. Then when people get the results, they have whole areas they can see where they have gaps. And what's cool about it is on those one-off quizzes, a lot of times your people that are taking it don't see how this is all connected. With ours in the categories, you see exactly how it's all connected to your success.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so how can they find out more about you? Like, if they want to work directly with you, if our audience is like, Juliet's my girl, she's got her finger on the pulse, I have all these struggles, I have people bouncing from my website, bouncing from my podcast, and they don't engage. How can they get a hold of you to help increase that engagement?
Well, 2 ways. You can go over to Juliet at superbrandpublishing.com, and Juliet is Juliet. I spell it like Romeo and Juliet. And then if you'd like to experience one of the quizzes and see what they're all about, go to leadlogicquiz.com and take one.
Awesome. So that's leadlogicquiz.com, and you can take one of Juliet's quizzes and see what it's like and do that interactive piece. And then if you want to reach out and to her directly, is it the same site?
No, it will lead magnet right into with your phone number. And if you're a high commitment, I'll probably reach out to you if you don't schedule an appointment already. You'll have that option, or you can email me. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Okay, fantastic. Juliet, thank you so much for being here today and carving time out of your very busy schedule. I really appreciate it. You're usually always on the go when we're allowed to be on the go. You're always here, there, and everywhere. So I love that you took time to be here with our folks. I definitely appreciate that. Before we let you go, are there any final words you have for our crew? Any words of advice?
Oh, get out and build relationships.
That's a good one. All right. Very good. Nice and tight. Get out, build relationships. I love it a lot. All right, folks, this is Kimberly Hobscheid with the Entrepreneurs Experts Cafe. Super glad to have you guys here with us. Juliet, thanks so much for being here. Cheers.
Thank you.